Risa's Who the F Did I Marry TikTok soap opera got all of the girlies talking, got all of us talking. But this woman right here says smart people learn from their mistakes, wise people learn from everyone else's mistakes. You can't learn from someone else's mistake if you do not give them the space to come and speak on it. Absolutely. And we will continue to have these conversations. On my pages, we have been sharing women's stories. We've been commenting. We have been talking about red flags and all of that, and we will continue. Because of this 50-part story time, a woman jumped in my Instagram yesterday. She had a story time for it. So if you haven't watched the series, at one point, Risa's boyfriend, fiance, I couldn't remember what he was at this point, sent her to get her nails done. But while she was there, he called her to say that her ex-boyfriend showed up at the house. And this woman, that triggered a thought because this woman sent me this story time. She said, my husband called me from work and said he had just seen my ex-boyfriend. This caught me off guard because they have never met in person, not even a picture of the ex-boyfriend. Not to mention, I met and married my husband years after relationship with my ex-boyfriend ended. So I'm like, how do you know it's him? He proceeded to describe the ex-boyfriend in the same manner that I had described him to him. Some context. When my husband works on the same property as a gas station in front, his job behind. He proceeds to tell me he saw the truck pull up at the gas station and my ex boyfriend hops out to get gas. After getting gas, my ex boyfriend walked over to my husband and asked him if he was my husband. My husband said yes, and the ex boyfriend sort of laughed and walked away. She said, I asked, did he come straight to you? He said yes. I said, but how could he go directly to you? You've never ever met. He just said, well, he did, but why are you worried about it? I said, I'm not worried at all. Your story just doesn't make sense. And then she said, hi, so the above experience popped into my head from listening to the Risa videos on your channel. She says, I have so many more, but as I said before, I have to collect my thoughts. This brain fog is real. I'm currently going through this mess. Next month makes 10 years. Okay, so she's saying she's been married for 10 years. And I was like, do you think your husband is lying to you? She says, oh, and he also tried to blame it on my cousin, saying she must have told the ex boyfriend. I questioned that, asking, but why? Why would she do that? And he had no response. And she responded to my, do you think your husband is lying, with just a simple yes. I'm like, why? She said he is a permanent resident of Delusionville, but we like to call it Delulu Land. This must be a place close by Delusionville. She said, we've been married for 10 years next month. There are many problems from day one. I was going to file for divorce and then found out I was pregnant, and silly me decided to stay. We now have a 7-year-old. I was like, some of these people are wild. I just don't understand it. And she says, that's so true. I think what gets some of us women is that we enter the relationship not expecting to be lied to. So when things start to not make sense, our mental health takes a huge hit. Like, why would someone that's interested in you and says they're going to love you just come out the gate lying? It is too bad that we have to anticipate that folks are going to lie. So I said, so we just got to anticipate that they will lie to us to maintain our mental health. And she's like, pretty much. She says, you really question reality and life itself. And she says, two more things I remember. After I had my daughter prematurely at 30 weeks, we had a discussion about me not returning to work until she was older, for school age, due to daycare costs. I would be working to pay just for daycare. We both agreed to this, or so I thought. Almost as soon as that conversation, almost as soon as we had that conversation, he started telling me I had to find work because he can't handle all the bills. Mind you, we were living in an apartment attached to my parents' house. Rent was $800 and no other bills besides the car note and cell phone for both phones. Cell phone was $80 for both phones. Fast forward to the purchase of the current house, and he's calling it his house. I said, usually when a married couple purchases a house, it's a we thing, even if just one spouse purchased that. He said, no, It's his because I didn't contribute anything towards the purchase. I said, okay, cool. Then started with the you need to get a job and help pay this mortgage. My response was, I'm not getting a job just to help you pay for your house. Needless to say, he was very upset but didn't say anything. And then I was like, wow, can I use this in the story time? She said, yes, you may. So, oh, okay. She says, I started back working and she started the process to file for divorce. He won't be happy about child support. That's his main worry. Then she just says, then I said, does he sense anything? She says, no, we're currently separated. I'm at my parents' house with my daughter. I keep contact to a minimum. He does, however, continue to accuse me of cheating. It's his go-to accusation. It's funny to me. She says he has no access to my accounts, and over the years, I slowly had no access to his accounts. So he doesn't know anything about me and money. He thinks I'm solely reliant on him. I was for a while, but I'm actively changing that. I was like, how long have y'all been separated? She said, this time around, it's been 2 months. We have separated before and reconciled. He kept showing me he's incapable of being a better person. He's quite happy with what he is. Apparently, I'm the one with the problems. I'm at the point where I can't go through this again, and I want to be a better example for my daughter. If y'all don't know that these story times and sharing is helping women across the board, and we have got to set better examples for our daughters. We have got to think about them and showing them what a good and healthy, balanced relationship looks like. For so long, the conversation centered around having a two-parent household. You got to have two parents. You got to have a married couple in the house for the kids, stay together for the kids. But what if the two-parent household is dysfunctional, chaotic, abusive, neglectful in some sort of way? That is teaching your children, girls and boys, that this is what healthy looks like. This is what a normal relationship looks like. Where a man is like, this is my house. That becomes their norm, and we have got to change that narrative. If we want to focus on two parent households, it needs to be two healthy people within the house, not necessarily just two adult people within a house, because that is not a healthy way to start a relationship. And what we are seeing, sharing all of these, so many women miss red flags because their foundation, what they saw with relationships, wasn't healthy to begin with. So I am so glad that people are sharing these stories with me. If you have any stories, I can be reached at Bourbon Bougie on my Instagram and in Reddit. Go ahead, drop me a line.